Hey, riders and racers, and welcome back to another live stream. And the topic for today's live stream is how many hours of training do you need to do to be race fit? So I find one of the thought processes for a lot of riders, and me included when I was racing as well, is we automatically assume in our mind that we have to be doing shit tons of training. So we see the pros, we see the guys at the front training all the time, going cycling all the time, posting videos of all the training and riding that they've been doing during the week. Hey, Michael, and we automatically think, okay, well, if I want to have that same level of riding or race fitness, then I have to be doing all of that as well. And then the inner battle, the inner conflict starts to come up where we're thinking, okay, well, if they're doing all of that work to be able to do a full race at race pace, and that's their job, how the hell am I going to be able to do that if I still have to go to work every day and I've got a proper job that I have to do outside of riding? I'm never going to be able to get that level of race fitness. And then we start to settle with what we're doing and make excuses for not making progress and not being fit enough on race day, when that doesn't really have anything to do with it. So hopefully I can help you guys with that in today's video. So before, there's 3 points I want to go over, but the first thing I want to say is what I work on with my races is 3 1-hour blocks of gym training, off the bike training per week to get them ready for specific race events. This is the same time commitment for motocross guys. Okay, guys that are doing 20-minute motos, half-hour motos. The same commitment for the guys that are doing 10 or 15-minute motos. The same process for guys that are doing 3 or 4 hour enduros. They're doing Fink, they're doing Hatter, even for transmoto events. Okay, desert racing, and even same for like grassroots enduro type riding as well. Okay, so that's the time commitment that I have for our riders. Now I'm going to break it down into 3 areas to show you how you can actually make that 3 1-hour blocks of training work for your racing. Because when I say that to a lot of people, it's almost like they don't believe me. They think they need to be doing a shit ton more than three sessions a week. So first thing that you need to look at is bike fitness versus gym fitness, okay, or bike time versus gym time. Now, both of these have to work together. You can't, hey Sam, you can't just be relying on one or the other. So if you do all gym training and get on the bike once a month, okay, or once every couple of months, what's going to happen is you're going to get on the bike and you're going to find it very challenging to ride the bike. And the reason you're going to find it challenging to ride the bike is because your body's not used to being on the bike. It's not used to getting into the positions that it needs to. So it's working a lot harder than what it needs to. So even though you might be really fit in the gym, or you've done a lot of cardio work or a lot of strength work and you've done all the right stuff, you're still not going to feel good when you get out on the bike and ride, because it's going to cause a high level of fatigue. And the reason it's going to cause a high level of fatigue is because you're not efficient with it, because you haven't been doing it. So if I use just a personal example for me, I never do any running in my training. Okay, I've not done proper running training for years. And so I know I've got a high level of strength. My cardio is shit at the moment. That even when I have focused on my cardio and conditioning, and that's been a priority for me, no matter how high my cardio and conditioning was, no matter how strong I was, if I went for a run, I would wake up with sore legs the next day. Now, you would think if someone can squat over 150, 160, 170 kilos and their cardio and conditioning is really good on a rowing machine or on an assault bike or with body weight workouts, why would I get sore legs from running? And the reason I get sore legs from running is because my body's not efficient with the running movement. So it causes a high level of fatigue for me, both cardio-wise and strength-wise, because my body's just not used to that movement. Even though I can squat a shit ton of weight, that seems like it's a lot heavier than what would happen for running. Just a different movement that my body's not used to. The same happens for your riding. If you're not riding, hey Matthew, and you do all of this training during the week or all this gym work, and then you go and ride, it doesn't matter how fit you are. It doesn't matter what type of training you do. Okay, there's a certain level of skill and there's a certain level of fatigue that's caused from riding that you can't get used to unless you're just spending time on the bike. Same with me with running. If I want to not get sore legs when I go running, hey Dean, I need to spend more time doing some running and getting my body used to it. So likewise, same if you go the other way. Okay, if you want to build fitness by just riding and not doing gym work, you need to be riding 3, 4, 5 times a week. So unless you're a professional rider or racer, even if you have a track in your backyard and you have a full-time job, chances are you're not going to be spending that amount of time on the bike to build your fitness. So you need to have the right strategy in the gym to be able to make up for not getting on the bike. So for me, when I was racing, I was only going riding once a week. Okay, especially like in juniors. Obviously, I need dad to take me to the track and pack everything up and do all that sort of adult stuff. So I was only riding once a week because he was working during the week. So I had to make up for that downfall. I wasn't able to develop riding and racing fitness by just riding the bike 3 or 4 times a week. I had to have another strategy off the bike to be able to help me. Okay, so that's the first thing, is you've got to make sure you've got a balance of both there, guys. The second thing when it comes to fitness work specifically, so off the bike work, is strategy versus volume. Okay, now if you don't have much time to be able to spend on your fitness or on your off the bike stuff, you need to make sure that your strategy is on point. You need to make sure that you are not wasting time doing things that aren't actually helping you when you go and ride on the weekend. So where professional riders can make up for this is they make up for it with volume. Okay, they can do a whole shit ton of riding and a shit ton of training and throw a whole heap of shit at the wall and hope that some of it's going to stick, because they've got the time to be able to do that. They've got the time to be able to do shit tons of cycling, shit tons of riding, and just do a whole heap of stuff and tick all the boxes. If you're an everyday normal person that's not a professional racer, you don't have that luxury of just doing a whole heap of training and hoping that it's going to work. You need to make sure that you're cutting away all of the shit, all of the stuff that's not helping, all of the stuff that's just nice to have, and you're just narrowing down on the things that are going to give you the best transfer and the best result when you get out on the bike. And so if a professional racer is riding 4 times a week and doing 6 training sessions a week off the bike as well, they're looking at 10, 11, 12 sessions a week. If you're doing only 3 sessions per week, all the stuff that professional racers are doing, you're going to have to cut out 80% of the shit that they're doing and just focus on the 20% that's going to get you the best result on the bike. So when you're training, it's strategy versus volume. Okay, if you see someone that's doing a lot of volume of training, it's not necessarily the volume that's helping them. It's just that they're doing a lot of different things and they happen to be covering some of the bases that are transferring to the bike. If you can't train at a high volume every week, okay, and like for a lot of the guys, or majority of the guys that I work with our 3 1-hour blocks of training, then you just need to make sure you're cutting away the shit and just focusing on the stuff that's going to help you the most. Third thing comes down to frequency and consistency. So with any training program, off the bike training, the single most important thing is consistency. And so with any rider that I work with, that is the first thing that we work on, is I'm making sure I can get them consistent. Making sure that we're finding ways to train and get our 3 1-hour blocks of training in every single week. Now, frequency times consistency is what's going to get you the result. Okay, if you train frequently for 1 week, but don't do that consistently every week, you're not going to see progress and results. Okay, and if you train consistently, but you don't train with enough frequency, you're training once a week in the gym, then you're not going to see results either, because there's not enough volume there for you to be able to see progress. So the sweet spot for the riders that I work with, which is majority of them are not professional racers, these are guys that have jobs, that enjoy their riding, enjoy their racing, and want to improve, but can't dedicate all day, every day to go and train, is 3 1-hour blocks of training each week. Okay, and making sure you're doing that every single week. We're ticking the box every single week. Bang, 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 bang. I'm seeing on our training app that I'm using, I see blue ticks on there to make sure they've done their sessions. I want to be seeing blue ticks on that app every single week. Bang, bang, bang. And if we're not, for whatever reason, then that's where our coaching calls are coming into play, where we go in and we have a look what's happening. Is it they struggling with work? Are they finding that they're tired? Are they not able to fit it in with work? Do we need to change the structure of the sessions to make it work for their lifestyle? But at the end of the day, that stuff needs to be fixed to get the frequency, to get the consistency. And when we have both of those, then you see progress on the bike. Okay? So to do a recap of that, first thing is bike versus gym fitness. If you ride once every 6 months, then it doesn't matter how much fitness work you do. Okay? And if you're just focusing on riding the bike and you're not a professional racer, you're probably not going to get enough bike time to build the fitness you need to be able to do a full race at race pace. So that's where you need to make sure your during the week training is nailed. Second is strategy versus volume. The less time you have to train, the better your strategy needs to be, because you don't have time to waste on shit that's not working. The more volume you have of training, okay, you can get away with having you can get away with having a poorer quality strategy because you're doing so much volume, which is going to happen to, well, hopefully if you're doing enough training, you're going to be ticking all the boxes you need to help you on the bike on the weekend. And then number 3 is frequency and consistency. So you need to be training. So for our guys, 3 1-hour blocks of training every week, and we need to be doing that consistently. Okay, you can't just have sporadic training where some weeks you do a few sessions and some weeks you don't train. Another week you do 1 session, and then after that, it's like That's not going to work. Okay, you have to have the right strategy, you have to do it frequently, and do it with consistency. And that's the formula to building your riding and racing fitness if you're not riding 4 or 5 times a week. So if you would like some help with this stuff, guys, I'm looking for 5 riders that want to get to an A grade level of fitness in the next 16 weeks, but I need you to commit to 3 1-hour blocks of training every week, okay, off the bike. So if you would like to get an A grade level of fitness in a 16-week period, committing to 3 1-hour blocks of training every week, you can fill out an application form below, which I'll put in the comments for you. It's going to ask you a few questions. It's going to ask you about what you're working towards with your riding, what your goals are, what the biggest challenge is with actually getting towards that goal and making it happen, and then also just why it's important for you. What's the driver? What's the motivation for you to make that happen? So if that's something you're interested in, if you would like an A grade level of fitness in a 16-week block of training, okay, A grade fitness in a 16-week block of training, committing to 3 1-hour blocks of training every week, okay, 3 1-hour blocks off the bike training for 16 weeks, I can get you to an A grade level of fitness. It's just a matter of time. We just got to start putting the work in. So if that's something you're interested in, please fill out the application form below. Tell me a little bit about what you're working towards. Once applications have come through, I will go through them all. If you've made it through, then I will give you a buzz and we'll go through your application together. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Again, if you would like some help and you would like to get an A grade level of fitness in 16 weeks, I need you to commit to 3 1-hour blocks of training every week. Okay, there's 168 hours or something like that in a week. Not hard to commit 3 1-hour blocks of training. So I can get you there, but I just need you to meet me halfway. So if that's something you're interested in, post up on the application form below, and I will chat to you guys soon. See ya.